did acting start for you?
Acting was sort of like a happy accident, actually. Well, let me rephrase that and go back. I did a lot of theater in high school and in college, but then I got into stand-up comedy. And when I moved to Los Angeles, I really had no intention of acting again. My acting professor in college kind of told me that this was not the business for me, that I was never going to make it as an actor. So I really was just focused on pursuing comedy when I moved to Los Angeles. And but my manager kind of just encouraged me to sort of audition for stuff, and I started booking acting roles. And it kind of, one job led to the other, and then eventually I landed Superstore, and it kind of really opened the doors for me.
Do you still talk to that teacher?
No, I heard he retired. And if I did, I would be like,
Let's talk about Superstore. Did you ever expect this show to blow up?
No, I had no idea. Honestly, Superstore was my first big break. I was just sort of happy to get the job and get the opportunity. As you know, it's very hard to be a working artist here in Los Angeles. To be a working actor in itself is sort of like a big victory, but to sort of land that big part, I was really, really sort of so happy about it. But the fact that it's gone on, it's our 5th season. We're going through our 5th season. It's sort of like tremendous and incredible, and not what I was expecting.
How is it to play and see the evolution of Mateo throughout the seasons of the show?
It's been incredible. Like when we first started, Mateo was sort of just this bitchy employee, and it was so. It would have been really easy to sort of like keep him this two-dimensional character, but we've added so many layers to his story, and making him undocumented, I think was a really brilliant move. I never saw somebody like myself on television or in films before, and the fact that I'm able to sort of tell the story of somebody who is queer and is an immigrant and is Filipino, I don't take that responsibility lightly. So I'm very sort of honored and privileged that I get to do that.
And I've seen somewhere that he wasn't originally written as a Filipino.
He wasn't. Mateo was not Filipino or queer. Actually, he was supposed to be like a straight Latino guy. And I don't know if they just saw my last name and they were like, we'll bring him in. His last name's Santos. So they asked me to audition for the part. But I just remember reading so much for the audition, reading about Mateo and his all the material associated with him. And it just really struck me as something that a bitchy queen would say. So I just sort of like interpreted the character and gave it my own spin, and they liked it, and here we are 5 seasons later.
What's the best part about playing Mateo?
The best part about playing Mateo is, like I said, it's just, Mateo is not a character that we've seen before. And the fact that I'm able to play somebody so close to my own experience is a blessing. I never thought in a million years that I would have a career playing somebody so close to myself. I just didn't think that was possible in Hollywood, but, thank God.
Based from what happened in the recent season finale, what would NICO do in Mateo's shoes?
Oh gosh, I don't even know. I mean, Mateo is one of the strongest people I know, and I honestly don't know if I would react the same way. I would have fallen apart immediately, I think. But Mateo is a very resilient person. He's been through a lot. And I think, as most immigrants, I'm an immigrant myself, I don't think I'm as strong as Mateo, but I think immigrants are, some of the strongest people out there, because we've just had to give up so much and sacrifice so much in search of a better life, and we know what's at stake. So.
How is it to play queer Asian characters in mainstream television and cinema?
It's amazing. It's incredible. If I only play these types of characters for the rest of my career, I would be completely happy. We just don't get that type of representation. So I, in no means, feel stifled that I don't get to play straight roles often, or if ever. I think all the roles I've booked so far have been queer and Filipino, and I would much rather have a career, a lifetime career of playing roles that are just like me, just so we have that representation out there, than playing a character that I mean, they have tons of other straight actors for that. So,
Dream role or project?
dream role project. I would love to create a show about the Filipino experience. There's been such a tremendous response about Mateo's character, and the Filipino community has just been like really supportive. So I would really love to sort of create a show centering on the Filipino experience. We are one of the largest Asian communities here in the United States, and the fact that there aren't more shows or more characters out there that are Filipino is baffling to me because there's so many of us out there.
What's the most Filipino thing about you?
That I love to eat, and my world and my day revolves around food. That's probably the most Filipino thing about me. We recently actually had this thing on set happen where there was a problem with the snack that was being put out on set. And if there's one thing you don't mess around with in the Superstore set, it's our food. So we had a whole text chain going. It was like, what are we going to do about this situation? They can't mess with our food. And it's been since rectified. So.
Sounds like an actual episode itself.
Oh my God, it was drama. We had a long text chain about it. America had to get involved and be like, listen, bring our food back.
Do you have a favorite memory of growing up in the Philippines?
I loved hanging out with, all my titas and titas were in the Philippines. My mom came from a big family. I have a lot of cousins as well. So I just love sort of like going to this huge Filipino gatherings where everybody's eating and there's so much food. Yeah, that's what I sort of like remember and cherish the most. Is like Christmas in the Philippines, I think, is really magical and special because, as you know, the Philippines is a largely Catholic country, so Christmas celebration in the Philippines is more along the lines of tradition and not about commercialism. And so it's really Christmas in the Philippines, I think, is what I miss the most.
If you were a book, what book would you be and why?
Oh my gosh, this is like a Miss Universe question. If I were a book, what would I be and why? I would be The Alchemist. I know that's so cliche, but I love that book. I would just remember when I first read that book, I was like, you know what? Yes, I am what I'm searching for. I just love that book and its message. So.